It's actually how you center your own chi, like you said, energy is everything for us. So what is the energy? Today's society is very chaotic, very noisy. So people are so stressed. And that's why I am always shocked when I see 20 years old young girl has already gray hair. And I'm 47, I don't have any gray hair. That is a big comparison just because your energy really affects your health or your well. And in that way, it's like, for me, I really enjoy to live in the big city, mega city. The bigger the better for me. I do not really mind that there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people surround me, but I see that it's actually I do not involved in that chaotic rhythm. And this is what we talk about: rhythm, trust, and self-centered.
This is Uncommonly Remarkable. We have surprisingly casual discussions about the lives and notable accomplishments of community leaders, entrepreneurs, and everyday folks like you and me. Think of this podcast as an opportunity to learn something new and to pick up on an entrepreneurial tip or two through open conversation. I'm Artis Beatty. I'm a doctor of optometry and the chief medical officer for My Eye Doctor OD. Though we will inevitably touch on topics within my area of expertise, the opinions and conversations held here are separate from my work with My Eye Doctor. Welcome to the show.
Anna, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to talk to you today. From all the things that I've read about you and just some of the small conversations we've already had, you are a fantastic person with a lot of energy, and I'm just excited to have you on the show today. So thank you for taking time to be with us.
My big pleasure. I'm really excited and looking forward to.
So I guess we'll start by saying you describe yourself as a midlife skin and vitality specialist. Tell me, what does that mean, and what is it that you do today?
Yeah. What I'm doing actually is I help midlife women to get their skin glow back and by balancing hormones. And we actually say today's society has a big misunderstanding about midlife skin because we all say midlife skin because it's aging. That's the reason why we have a dry, dullness, and also all of this kind of sagging gesture that you see. But myself had hit 2 years ago with eczema. So that was my journey. And I found out that was completely not expected as I usually do with my skin, because my skin was flawless until 2 years ago. And when I hit my eczema and I went to the doctor, she prescribed me the gel, which is helped immediately. But I found out that once I stopped and the eczema came back again. So after that, I have practiced the traditional Chinese medicine over decades. So I immediately understand something is happening inside. But at that moment, I did not really realize that was actually related to hormonal shift. I just know that something is internal imbalance. And then so I did with deep hydration, both with bone broth nutrition-wise and also with hydration-wise on skin. So from that day, I changed to natural oils with natural actives instead of synthetic products. And today, my skin is glowing as in my 20s. So my 12 years old daughter, she starts to look after her skin. She always touch my skin and say, "Mom, your skin is better than me." And then I found out that is actually my passion, because I always look after my skin since I was little. We Asians love skincare. That's maybe everyone knows in the world. But I never really thought about the impact on midlife when you have hormonal shifts. What are the big impact on our skin? And that actually is not invisible. If we do the right strategy, our skin can come back that glow, restore the balance. And then, so that's what I'm doing today as a midlife skin and vitality specialist.
That's amazing. You know, you raise such really good points. And as we age, things change chemically, hormonally for us. And eczema is one of those things that does have internal changes that result in the topical change that we get from eczema. And there are other types of things that we see happen as we age too, right? So we see inflammatory responses. Sometimes we will see internal changes that cause external problems. So, or we'll see autoimmune changes that people go through. And there is a lot of research and thought behind how much our changes in our hormone levels really play a role in how we end up ultimately feeling, and in your case, how we look. And so that is, it's very interesting. I told you that I'm an eye doctor, and so if you have a little eczema on your eyelid, it hits dear to me, right? Because we can prescribe a little cream, and that can make things look and feel better. But if you stop and it comes back, then we didn't really fix it, right? Like we covered it up for a while.
That's a lesson, actually. It's a big lesson. And so I always am very grateful to got this eczema. Without eczema, I will not really realize my skin becomes drier. It's actually something I can revive them, because I also saw that's a part of aging before, but now I changed my mindset completely.
I love that challenge to aging, right? Because I think people have started to challenge whether or not some of the things we think are normal about just being older, and whether or not we actually have to have those things happen. Right?
Yeah.
So this moment where you realize, man, I have an opportunity to really think differently about my skin, was really kind of a change moment for you, because you were doing other things before you started working to help people understand nutrition and how it affects their skin, right? So what were you doing before this?
My past career was actually, I run a business online for travel agency. I arrange private tours between Sweden and China. So my clients are from Sweden, and then they go to China to visit for different cities. And that one I have done over 15 years. And then until 2020, when COVID hit, and I did not have any business. So I took a pause. And eventually I was thinking, I cannot just stay at home doing nothing. So I have to get my bread on the table as well. I need to survive as well. So what I did, so I started to go back to corporate work. So I looked for a job, and then I ended up in the airlines. So I worked for Scandinavian Airlines, the SAS, the largest airlines in Nordic countries first.
Oh, wow.
And then later I changed from SAS to Air China. And I was in charge with the big flight between Beijing and Stockholm. So that was couple of years before I became to midlife skin and vitality specialist. So it was a very two different directions, but the same philosophy, I must say, because it's serving people.
Well, and it's interesting for me because you spoke just a minute ago about traditional Chinese medicine, and I've only recently learned some different things about traditional Chinese medicine. In fact, I talked to a gentleman who was an expert in Qigong, right? And it was really, for me, mind-opening to start thinking about the mind and body connection and how those things are interrelated. And one of the conversations we had was about nutrition, and the fact that it's a very integral part of lifestyle, and how many things are related. And in your case, I think it goes back even to like the way you describe what makes you happy for where you live, right? So, we think about big cities, hustling and bustling, and you've been able to live in large cities but stay centered. And I think that has some ties to kind of the thought behind traditional Chinese medicine and kind of the over-encompassing fact.
Yeah, that's 100%. It's traditional Chinese medicine or Asian Chinese philosophy, like Taoism, Confucians. We all have similar philosophies. Called inner peace is the main course for us to focus on. So when we talk about inner peace, it's not only saying the words, it's actually how you center your own qi, like you said, energy. The energy is everything for us. So what is the energy? Today's society is very chaotic, very noisy. So people are so stressed. And that's why I always shocked when I see 20 years old young girl has already gray hair. And I'm 47, I don't have any gray hair. That is a big comparison just because your energy really affect your health or your well-being. And in that way, it's like, for me, I really enjoy to live in the big city, mega city. The bigger, the better for me. I do not really mind. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of people surround me. But I see that it's actually, I do not involved in that chaotic rhythm. And this is what we talk about, rhythm, trust, and self-centered. And we say the real master is you master your inner peace. So outside your world, external world can be really, really big chaos, but you stay calm. And this master can be really challenging if you always seeking external validations or external performance. If you're always thinking what is the social society tell you should do, if you always focus that part, you will never come back to the inner peace. So for me, how do I do that? I found that when I live anywhere, I only focus on how I feel. And that is what I also tell my clients, because of like perimenopause or menopause, there are so many symptoms. And many people focusing on symptoms. And I always tell them, take less focus on the symptoms, but focus on how you feel first. Because that is a biological transition. No one can avoid that. All women will go through this transition. So what we need to focus on, how do you feel today? If you feel different, listening to your body. And that's the key for traditional Chinese medicine, is we listen to our body and then we treat the signals. So the three signals we call this root cause. So like fatigue or hot flashes, they are reasons because your hormone is imbalanced. And so once you balance your hormones and you don't have symptoms. And that is, I am living proof. So that's why I know it is achievable with natural method. I do not take any interventions, no supplements, no any external help so far. But I do not say later on maybe I need it. But today, when we talk, 100% natural approach can be really make you feel like before. Like you don't need to worry about the symptoms as long as you focus on how you feel and listen to the signals and to solve the problem based on the signals.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. And so when you think about that approach, where do you start when someone comes to you? Because I don't know that traditionally people focus so much on how they feel. They find the one symptom or the two symptoms that are really problematic, and that becomes the focus. And the rest of how you feel, it becomes kind of what you're used to, even if that's not normal, right? It's kind of what you get used to. So how do you have that conversation with someone and start to guide them in the right direction?
The direction I start always, because each individual is different. So I have to really listen to their own path first and from their own journey, and I can see the pattern. And from that pattern, I will give them the advice. But in general, I found out, like you said, people always focusing on the symptoms. Say, I feel anxiety. I feel very nervous, or I have a fatigue because I don't have energy during the daytime. And they are talking about what they feel in that part. But then I try to change the conversation to that direction, is that, have you done something first? When you feel like you have energy crashes, or when you feel like you feel anxiety, but you do not know what, have you done something? And that is the key part. I found out almost every single client no one talk about how they find the solution. They just say, no, I haven't got any solution, but I just feel like I feel nervous. I feel energy crashes. I just feel like that. And that's the big difference between my approach And the other approach is that I always want to find the solution first. And that's then once they say, no, I haven't, then we go back to say when they started these symptoms and before, how was it? And when they really, because like you are a doctor, there are different levels. They are mild, moderate, and severe. So I also need to know my clients in what level, and then we make the plan to treat them accordingly, rather than just bluntly, I do all the same for every single client. That is not possible.
Yeah.
It's not in the traditional Chinese medicine, because we do see individual is completely different. Yeah.
Well, so when you had the eczema and you used the cream, things got better, and then you noticed it was coming back. Where did you start for yourself? Like, how did you decide this is what I need to do in order to make this go away?
Yeah, very good question. I was also test error as well, because I did not know what is the real solution. So I did everything that is supposed to do. For example, purchased a lot of expensive serums, eye creams, everything, mask to test. But then I found out that nothing really gave me back the real solution, like wipe out, vanish the eczema. The eczema is always coming back once my skin is dry. And that is the signal always sending to me. So that took me months to test the different approach. And I went to the beauty salon as well to do the treatments, to let them to give me the deep hydration. And all are short term. So eventually I say, okay, that nothing happened. Then I did study a lot of research, what kind of approach may be better. And then I back to the traditional Chinese medicine, because we believe natural is the best. And if you can, we always say all the medicines, even supplements, actually there is some poison inside. So that's why we go back to the natural. Yeah. And that is a traditional wisdom. We say it's 30%. Every single medicine, there's a 30% of, we say, toxic stuff in there. And that's why you feel you are actually healed immediately, because that the toxic things make your skin or make your body feel differently. So I went back to the natural oils. I tested from 1 to 2 to 3. And today I actually just now preparing my own skincare line. I'm going to launch those formulas I have developed for 3 products that I use daily with my clients as well. So now it's very well formulated products that I have eye cream, serum, this and also vulva cream. These 3 midlife women desperately needed, and they all contain at least 9 natural ingredients, all 100% natural, and it works wonder, because every single client they use just like within a week, they just say, "Oh my God, the texture! Oh my God, that is so soft!" And I'm so happy to hear that every time when they say that, because I just feel like we all women have to. We must say it, even though I know we are shy to say it, but everyone wants to have a good skin, like you are when you're 20. But because of the aging, people do not want to say loudly that I want to have that glow, I want to have that softness. But I really, really happy every my client use that, and they say, "Oh my God, that is so soft. I did not feel that for a long time," and that's the great result. So now I am preparing this skincare line. Yeah.
That's amazing. Can you tell me then, give us a couple of examples of naturally occurring oils that that you find do work wonders for you?
Yeah. I can show you. Actually, I have my experiment table.
Oh, excellent.
Something I struck, but it's not recommended to use individually, because they are potent, very potent. So
I see.
I mix them with different ingredients. But for example, retinol. Today's society, everyone talking about vitamin C and retinol. And since I know all the synthetic things don't work on our menopausal skin. Our skin is much thinner. The skin barrier is completely different than your 20s or 30s. So I say, what is the retinol in nature? Mother Earth must have something. So I found out that it's a bok choy, and this one is 100% bok choy. So that's made is from the tree Caprilic. That's a very long name. I cannot pronounce it. But this bok choy, if you just Google it, you should know that's a very ancient plant that grows from Asia, and that one is natural retinol. So it's give you exactly the same effect as the synthetic retinol, but not that harsh. The synthetic retinol, if you do not use it right or you purchase the wrong product, can really make your skin become worse. And then I also recommend, not recommended, we also use very strong thing is we have licorice root extract, and this one is very good for brightening skin. And this is we all midlife women after 45, I would say, is have these dark spots, and we call it aging spots. And this actually can slowly fade it by time. And the great ingredients, for example, like licorice root extract, is brilliant. And also I have using also jojoba oil. This one is a mimic skin, so it's actually is very similar to our skin texture. So this jojoba is a very nourishing oil, and I also recommend people use rose hip seed oil as well. And those things you can use them, but in particular, like bok choy is not really recommended to use individual. I tested myself. It was very, very strong when I used, because I use that for in our eye cream, and I use that just single to see, because I think maybe will be work better since I use just that oil. But it was my goodness, I was almost, I feel like my eyes cannot open it. And the one thing is from a Nordic country, it's very, very healthy for midlife hormonal skin, is the sea baksong. And this one is perfect for midlife skin hormonal shifts. And that is perfect for all our body. So that one I use for eye cream, serum, and also for vulva cream.
And I think that's where it's important, right? Like the understanding the individual ingredients and what they bring to the table is phenomenal. But it's really the blending of those ingredients together, and the substrates, the other things you have to have in order for it to be absorbed and to be safe. And I think that's where your skincare line comes in, because you've done a lot of the research to make sure that these things are blended perfectly to get the added result. So maybe two things then. The first thing is you've been working on holistic skincare, and you've actually had research presented, clinical studies presented in Europe. Is that right?
Yeah, in May, yes. They also published in Maturitas in the journal. It's for the midlife research. Yeah,
that's pretty amazing. How did that happen?
That was based on what I did with my clients. I said it's a holistic skincare. That is my strong belief. Because I did what we did is we by then is we mix our own ingredients together, and we Zoom together 1 hour. During this 1 hour, I will teach them how to look after their skin, not only the ingredients, how to mix it, and also how they do the face yoga, and how do they do Tai Chi, how do they do bone brows, and all this. And also hydration. All of these elements we do for 7 days in a row, and we tested the strength and what have been changed. And my clinical study showed very, very high percentage. I think if I remember right, it's 87% noticeable result from the energy level. And even though you see only 1 hour, we do maybe 20 minutes Tai Chi together. It's a Qigong, like you heard that before.
Yeah.
That is a very good slow motion, but reducing your cortisol level. And one of my clients, I remember she's 69 years old and post-menopause. And she told me before we did this course, she had a problem with her energy level. That's mainly with post-menopause women. But during these 7 days, she learned the Tai Chi movement, and she also doing that not only on our 1 hour time, she do maybe when she had time. After 7 days, she told me one thing is that she got the clarity with her tax declaration, which she never got the focus on that, because she said, every year I feel so bad when I do the tax declaration because I cannot sit there and focus. But this year, I just like I can sit there, I got my clarity and I can focus.
That's
and
amazing.
Also that's really amazing. And her left side body was a little bit less muscle, so she had to when she go up to the stairs, she must put more energy on her left side. But she said to me that she found that she did not really consciously think anything, but she just moved up to the stairs without thinking. And that was also a very big signal to me is that when we said in traditional Chinese TCM, say, when you're really in the worst level and you just do some correct precision targeted approach, your body responds immediately. And so that's we say we always listen to our body, and our body always rewarding us back once you're targeting the right thing.
The right thing,
yeah. So for the skin, I said 100% every client who tested this formula with me, 100% feedback is said their skin becomes softer, and also the face yoga more jaw lines, and those are noticeable results that I can see. Yeah.
Well, so I think that brings me to the second question about this, right? As you're thinking about how this works for women's skin, are there analogs or similar types of things that work for men's skin?
You're not the first man ask me that. Actually, you know what? Because I'm working with women, a lot of men were really curious. Ask, can you do something for my skin? And I normally answer like that. I'm sorry. We actually in the midlife we do not have the same biological transition. You guys actually have testosterone more declining, but we are completely another rhythm. We have estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and all these three key are declining, and the cortisol spikes normally that we say in the common, and that is the key why women aging with skin completely different. Like you guys,
completely different, yeah.
Yeah, you guys do not look at that aging between 45 and 55, but look at the women between 45 and 55, completely two different phases. So what I would say, I normally recommend the guys also is just look after your skin. Put some really good skincare with a hormone friendly product. I do not know if there is some, but I haven't done the research. Maybe my next project will be researching about months.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that your next phase?
Yes, you are not definitely the first one, because I was thinking I should maybe take my time next time to do this as part of research as well, to find some skincare for midlife man as well.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we haven't talked much though yet about the nutrition aspect, which I think you have found to be very important. So there's the topical, what you think about from the skincare regimen, but it starts with what happens inside. So can you talk a little bit about how you approach nutrition and why that part's so important?
Sure. Nutrition is definitely the key part of our skin. Our skin reflects how your inner health reflects. So I say don't focus on too much about supplements if you do not deficient of something, focus on food. Food definitely is medicine. So we all know like avocado, salmon, and tuna, and the leafy greens, all are good, and nuts are good. But that's very abstract for me, because everyone, if you just, as long as you are a little bit more health consciousness person, you know what is good for you. But doesn't really mean you are healthy. That's what I found. And why is that? Because people do not actually establish a foundation for their own lifestyle. And that is what I always say. Do not focus on what others say, what is good for you. You focus on what you really like to eat. But those are nutrition-dense food. For example, some people love salmon, but some people don't like salmon at all.
Yeah.
But there is something equivalent or maybe better than salmon, like mackerel. Mackerel has much more omega-3 than salmon. So you don't need to focus on. Yeah. So that's what I say is like when you eat nutrition, focus on the thing, first of all, you really like, and eat really a lot. When I say a lot, it's like do not eat a small portion, because you need a lot of protein, a lot of zinc, a lot of minerals in your body. And in TCM, if I come back to the nutrition from TCM perspective, is we're focusing on about the yin and the yang should be balanced. And that part is when you take food, is thinking about ginger and garlics are very good herbs, but it's a daily cooking material. So if you just want to simplify your cooking skill, because not so many people maybe know how to cook a big meal or like a fancy meal, but if you just put some slices of ginger of your meal, then you already increase your yang energy. Yang is a more masculine energy, yin is a feminine energy. And the thing for women, I suggest that your listener who are women is do not take cold drinks. You get older, that avoid cold drinks. Just
really?
Yeah. In TCM, we never encourage women drink cold. And when you were young, you get less affected, but when you are older, and the cold drinks will actually frozen your metabolism and your organs to how they work together. And that's the key. Is like I found is Westerners more drinking cold, but cold is actually not really friendly for our midlife hormonal shift in that stage. And that is one tips actually. Do not take ice cold drinks. Of course, in 40 degrees or 35 degrees, I cannot say in
Fahrenheit,
Celsius. In 35 Celsius, like warm. Of course, you can take one, but when you go home, take lukewarm water, not the hot, because it's the temperature there. But in the wintertime, drink like hot tea. I have a habit. I say it's part of my lifestyle. Is 2 liters of green tea every day since in my 20s. And that saved my actually immune system. So I have very strong immune system, and my mental body is strong. So I don't struggle with gut issues. I don't struggle with inflammation. I don't struggle with those common issues that midlife struggle with.
So that is going to be a huge takeaway, right? For women in 35 degrees Celsius, if we round, it's close to 100 degrees in Fahrenheit. Like it's okay to have a cool drink, but really you should make it more of a habit to have warm drinks and not cold drinks, because overall it's going to be better. That's a fascinating thing to think about. If people are listening and they're like, wow, this is stuff I've never thought about before. I'd love to learn more about nutrition. I'd love to learn more about staying lean, and I really want to learn more about a healthy skin. How do they get in contact with you and understand what your availability is, and maybe even your skincare line?
They can visit my website. It's manupos.skincare.live. And I actually have a wait list for our skincare line that launching in the autumn. So they can also sign up the wait list.
Amazing. Amazing. And I've learned a lot, and this has been kind of cool for me. One of the things that we were talking about beforehand, and I started with the comment that I just love your energy, is we were talking about your past work history and how you've done these things that were not exactly what you're doing today, but also that you like to dance and that you make it part of kind of your day everywhere. And I
Right.
love that because I've been watching you move around while we've been talking, and
Yeah, never stay still. And it's I actually encourage all midlife women is move anytime rather than you restrict it to the gym time, because the flexibility is the key, one of the key reasons to mortality. And that's why I always say to the people can follow my Instagram. They can see my videos. I just show them what I do when I do sunbathing, because I'm doing an experiment now during this summer. In March, I did a blood work, comprehensive hormone check. And then they found that my all hormones are perfect balanced, but vitamin D close to the lowest level.
To the lower level.
So but it's in Sweden, it's very understandable because we have a long winter, no sunlight. Yeah. So what I'm doing now this summer, I do my protocol without supplements. I do 2 to 3 times a day, 15 minutes. And between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., I pick up one time when I got time. And I sit in the garden and I listen my techno or any music I feel so that day. And I do the sun bath, but then I also do my movements. So I my legs and I do my some yoga position. And those things actually is what I lived with. It's like I never really stay still. And I cannot just stay there 15 minutes to do the sun bath. I need to move. And I think that's the key part to keep my vitality. Because the other day I was so curious. Myself, if you ask me how do I feel, how old I feel, I feel like, I would say like 20, 25. But then I asked my daughters, who one is 12, another one is 9. At the other day, I was so curious. I asked them, can you tell your mother, be honest, what do you think how old I am? Just think about my energy level.
Sure.
Yeah, and they were really thinking, kids are really take this question very seriously. And I said, please be honest. Just tell me the truth. What do you think? And then think after and my eldest daughter said, I would say 15. And I said, how much? And she said, 15. And I said, okay, how come? And she said, because mom, you always like this, always energized, and you always like feel like you want to go out to party, to dance, and you never stay still. And I said, okay, sounds great. I don't really argue anymore. So
don't argue.
No, that's actually what I really strongly recommend all the midlife women is think less, move more, and move anytime. And you got the joyful movement. Actually, a lot of studies have actually confirmed that joyful movement actually better than the restriction routines. So in that case, I think for vitality-wise, is that you need to have joy, and that joy is actually the small actions, small movements, make you feel you are alive, not just survive. And that's what I think worked for me. I hope for others also work, because we all are different. But what I have learned in my own journey, that works very well for me. Yeah.
That's incredible. And what a fantastic point to end on. I got to thank you for spending the afternoon with me. This has been phenomenal. And I wish you all the success and really look forward to learning more about what you're up to and how your skincare line goes. And then I'm going to hold you to it. I think your next phase is going to have to be working on skincare for men.
Yeah, and when my skincare launch, if you want me come back, and I'm very happy to come back to talk about the skincare.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I would love to be able to see some of the products and have you talk about them.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. It was great. Thank you.
If you've made it this far, then I have to thank you for your time. I hope you've learned something new and enjoyed listening to the discussion as much as I enjoyed having it. I'd love to hear from you about the show because we're working really hard to bring you great content and the feedback really helps us get better. If you like what you've heard or watched, for those of you who are streaming out on YouTube, then take a split second to give us a thumbs up or a like. It really helps other people like you find the show too. And no one likes to miss out on the good stuff, so go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't have to wonder when or if there's a new episode. And until next time, stay remarkable.